I have a problem with anime, specifically the new anime, because I think a lot of what's being released now isn't, for lack of a better word, good compared to the older stuff. I could say it's a bit, you know, a bit of nostalgia talking. Let me just hear me out. What's up, people? It's me, Risu, and I want to talk about how anime has gotten worse as it's gotten better. And what I mean by this is, yes, we've gotten better animation, but the new stories just aren't as good as the older shows. They don't hit the same. Some of you might disagree, and that's fair enough. That's your opinion. I'm not here to start an argument, but just listen to what I have to say first, please. With anime becoming more and more mainstream, there seems to be a trend of getting the best studios to get like the next big shonen. And I personally think, while this is a good thing, it could be too much of a good thing, because I've seen cases of people complaining that good watchable animation is considered mid because they've just watched the latest episode of Solo Leveling, or because they've just binged Attack on Titan, or maybe even Demon Slayer, and are so used to these crazy visuals that they'd rather watch the shows for eye candy than the good story. And I'm not putting down the anime that I've just mentioned, because I know they have great stories, but because of these action heavy shows being so flashy, it's basically like a moth to a flame for newer fans. Take Chunibyo for example. Yes, the animation is fucking phenomenal at times, but they use it sparingly, letting the story breathe. Toradora, while not the most visually stunning all the time, it has a great story to tell, but because it's older and I guess blander than say Solo Leveling, people ignore it. A big new show to suffer from this is Sakamotodays. I personally think the show is great and is a definite watch this season, but even so many people drop it because the animation isn't up to their standards. But I can almost guarantee if this show was animated by Mappa or A1 Pictures, these same people will be praising it. The manga was getting hyped up like crazy, and I genuinely thought this was going to be everywhere, but no, people dropped it after the first episode because it was just simply good animation. I admit this might be crazy to say, but it's almost like the TikToks with Subway Surfers to hold your attention. If it's not Jinwoo aura farming or Nanami pulling some bloke's hair, then some people won't give a shit. Don't get me wrong though, like not all shows are getting brushed over. For example, Freyren blew up because it mixes the two perfectly. It's got a great story, flash animation, and honestly, if this came out 5 to 7 years ago, this would be something that we'd all reminisce about. Whereas shows like Mushoku Tensei could have reached that level if it wasn't weird. Like, if you want to watch the show and forget that this is a 30-something-year-old man in a child's body, then it's probably enjoyable. But it had so much potential because the animation and the world building was amazing. But just like most shows, it was too good to be true. And because we've been spoiled with crazy animation by shows like One Punch Man and Blue Lock Season 1, these shows that were praised for their animation suffer because the later seasons couldn't uphold that same standard that people had. And I know nowadays anime is being released a lot more than it was 5 to 10 years ago. So obviously the quality is going down a bit. I'm not saying everything released back then was gold. You suck on this, alright? But a lot of older shows that got an anime were animated because it had a great story to tell and was genuinely worth watching, whether it was because it was funny or heartbreaking. Studios knew what to drop. Today's anime climate is really oversaturated with forgettable shows like, who's gonna remember Welcome to Japan Miss Elf in like 2 years? Let's be honest. And I get there's probably a diamond in the rough somewhere, but most people won't find it. Like I said, this could be nostalgia talking, so take it with a grain of salt. But this is just how I feel about the current anime standards. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Let me know how you feel about the current anime standards. Please like, sub, and see ya.
Got that smile, monkey D, Luffy thing, not me, my hug me, and happy, so fluffy, so fire, like I'm not to, please love me, and like I'm light, I'm writing bars and killing rappers, it's funny, and low-key, Misa, wish that little bitch would just fuck me.